For more than 25 years, I've been interviewing remarkable men and women, scientists, philosophers, authors, and visionaries. 8 years ago, I was introduced to Dr. Philip Sauvage, who has demonstrated in laboratories in Europe and the United States an unprecedented ability to change physical reality, to induce what we call miraculous healing, and much more. In an exclusive interview, Philip shared how he acquired some of his extraordinary skills, how he applies them, and how they can be taught to others. He described examples of thousands of people and animals he's helped, and we explored his ecological and humanitarian goals. Most importantly, he described his Imago project, designed to bring about a global evolutionary shift by awakening in as many people as possible humanity's full potential. If we can dream it, he said, we can do it. Dr. Philip Sauvage.
Everybody remembers of Atlantis. Very few remembers of Hyperborea. It's the North Pole, also known as Greenland. When the North Ridge sank, hence Atlantis, that was the beginning of our ice age, and then we had to split. And the one who were on the east went east, and they followed the ice for about 2,000 years. The first land free of ice they could find was southern Brittany, and that's where my family has been settling for about 8,000 years. And my family has been the keepers of this lore, of this megalithic civilization that's 8,000 years old. And then the powers of this ancient Hyperborean civilization passed from mother to daughter uninterruptedly for thousands of years. Here is those of my origin. There is no time anymore for messages. Messages came and came and came. The children of God came all the time to say basically the same thing: be good instead of being bad. We are all one here. Give instead of taking. Okay, love is universal. There is no separation between all things. It's no time for messages. What it's time for right now is proofs. Cells burned by a laser in the nucleus. We take half of those cells, working in triple blind system. All the cells I'm taking care of don't die. All the cells I'm not taking care of course, die. We can go even further. That can be done from a distance, simultaneously on several samples of cells. And then we can go even further in absolutely heterodox experiment, up to the point where people would be ready to see me as a new prophet, a new Messiah, and then hold your horses. The idea is you all are Messiah and prophet then, and you're all associated to what I have to do, and I'm not, once again, above anybody here on this planet. It's for me to teach anyone. We take kids, South Central America, in the Bronx, pushing drugs, the dregs of your own society, the hopeless. Let me spend half an hour with 6 of them, and I will guarantee that half an hour later, they'll make exactly the same experiment with the same rate of success I have done myself, which means that I've just unfrozen your own powers that exist within everyone. I have learned a few things, you haven't, but this is possible to reawaken, to unfreeze this power. I just happen to have more than your 5 senses, hence the difficulty for me to explain what it is. It's like trying to explain someone being born blind with the painting of Michelangelo or Botticelli. And once again, the only semantic tool, the only link I can have with you for you to understand is the experiment. Experiment and experiment again. The proof. People are tired of anything else right now, and we're all running out of time. We need proofs, we need tools, and that's why I'm here to bring tools, to re-empower people. That's what they need the most. Not freedom, not a new message, not a new enlightenment, just tools.
He's a scientist and well known for his work in paleontology, radical, but well respected. He was known for his work in law enforcement, criminology. He was known for his eco-humanitarian work. He was on TV shows that drew audience response, 12 million viewers, equivalent of 70 million in US terms. That's a lot of people watching one guy. And why are they watching? Because he could do what no one else could do. Where medical science ends is where he begins. What they can do, he does not. And what they cannot do is what he can. it actually is a science, what Philip is doing. He calls it a subliminal science and technology. There are laws to that science. And if you know the laws to that science, you can then apply it.
We are not even using our brain at more than 10%. If only we could use it at 100, it wouldn't be so bad, but we can do much better than that. And go back to true humanity. That's exactly my idea, in which there is no separation between all beings, there is no separation between the mind, the soul, the body, one another, parents with children, children with family, family with the village with the country with the world, and the world with the universe. You have been lobotomized from your own senses, from your knowledge, from your sensitivity, from your heart. You have been cut off from one another, but that can be reestablished. I have the key, I can pass it to you, you can pass it to someone else. And that's something new also in my project. For the first time in my life, I'm ready to delegate. Why? Because time is running out. Okay, we can just sit down and meditate and wait that the greatest consciousness rises, and we don't have that opportunity and that chance today. We need to go fast, to be very effective, to give proofs to people, give them example, and then to associate them, re-empowered.
His reputation as a media person with articles in the press, radio, and TV. It culminated in 1990 when he was invited as a special guest on the most popular French TV host show on an independent TV station, TF1. He appeared on that show with several people that he had taken care of, people that suffering from cancer, all the way from cancer, depression, family, a man representing his family, everyone in his family, wife, daughter, himself had been helped. On this show, there was a woman, a mother with a baby, 1 or 2 year old baby, that had been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis in the womb.
I took care of the father and the mother. They were bearing the same defective gene. The mother was pregnant. The kid was diagnosed by the best experts because they were scientists themselves as having the cystic fibrosis. When I took care of the fetus and he was born, no cystic fibrosis, no signs. Then they went deep into the kid's DNA. It was gone. Since most processes, most diseases relate to self-destruction, what it takes me is just to bypass you, to circumvent your will of self-destruction, to reestablish the harmony, the normal functioning of the soul, mind, body interactions, and nothing else. And stop killing yourself. I've tried in every human languages, and I'm not counting the extinct languages, to try to give metaphorical appreciation of what I'm doing. It doesn't work. Once again, it goes back to the experiment. I can prove what I'm doing. People don't have to understand it. They just have to experience it and do it themselves.
One of the first things I did with Philip, working with Philip, was to bring about what we call empirical study, a double-blind study on people with severe third-degree burns. Call it the burn study. According to medical doctors, severe third-degree burns cannot heal. There can be no reepithelialization of the skin. If there could be, it would be called a severe second-degree burn. So when a severe third-degree burn shows any reepithelialization of skin from any treatment, that documents something impossible has happened. And that's exactly what we did.